continues, but it will instead be the Maverick, very prominent operator here on Nighthaven Labs on those exterior hard breach walls. You think about IT top floor and basement into site as well. Defensively, it's actually Goyo from the Chiefs, yeah. So that's a little bit surprising and may open up other options like the Azami and the Valkyrie, as only one more can be banned out. I'm probably anticipating the Valk. Azami, a very risky ban here on Labs, but instead it will actually be the Mirror. So both will make it through and keep things pretty open defensively here for CS, where they'll want to get off to a good start on a map which historically has been pretty bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you look at CS, the last 2 times they played it, they lost it to 5 Sharp in the Oceanic Rivals. They lost it to Lycus Empire in the Oceanic Rivals. They did beat the old 6 Targets roster in the qualifiers for this tournament. However, the 6 Targets roster in the current iteration is really a far cry of the 6 Targets that was last stage. It's not the one that obviously had Tex on it. It's still got Nico, but aside from that, it's mostly people I didn't recognize and I could call Rans if I felt mean. They have also lost it in history to Antic and Bliss. They got 7-0'd in stage 1 by Bliss. That was really the start of the fall for Circular Spheres. So yeah, historically not the best map for these guys. Hopefully they've worked on some things since then. The funny thing we saw in the chat going down during that operator ban phase, guys, was after that Goyo came out in the ban phase by Chiefs, Sade was like, it's not going to save you. He is a well-known Vector magnified scope crutch. Like, he loves that thing. But apparently he's more than happy to move on to the Valkyrie instead.
And I'm pretty sure that survives the patch tomorrow as well, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, the magnified scope on
kind of surprising. I'm still a little bit curious as to how that snuck through.
Bro, speaking about things sneaking through, we've had shield bans in almost every single game of Blast R6, and there are no shield nerfs in the coming patch as well.
Yeah, shields are very much benefiting from their rework.
But don't worry, Solus is getting a nerf. It's all fine. Jokoby's getting a nerf.
Well, that is a good one.
Yeah, true. Well, we'll see how the new operator fits in as well. Very excited to see the new patch coming out. But, of course, we have a few games left to play on the old patch for now.
So top floor then, as expected here on Labs for CS to open up their account defensively. And I'm actually quite intrigued to see the roles for Chiefs in this particular match. A lot of these players have dabbled in different roles over the years. Double hard breach in play and Oda playing the ace for now. And he's probably going to be given the license to sort of play how he wants and the rest of the team to form around him, given his experience. I'd also be really intrigued to know who's shot calling for the team. I would presume it's a pretty team effort.
A lot of cooks in the kitchen though, right? You know,
that
Tex
could be the problem.
Is quite a leadership figure. Oda, obviously a leadership figure. Even though he wasn't IGL in his previous team, he is by far the most achieved player on this roster. Cairo, infamously quite the cook himself. Player and Quiz, both more point and shoot players, and you definitely need some people like that on the squad. But definitely a lot of leadership potential on this team.
So minute 30 then, and Chiefs just chipping away at the early portion of the round. Killman did take a hit of damage, so 40 HP for him. In the rest of this particular round, a player who can certainly turn it up when required. Nitro through Con.
Bang.
Does land. Oda does survive, however. Shield in electrical, and the Ying to help clear that.
Yeah. Really does look like Chiefs have cooked quite a few ideas together. In goes Quiz with the Ying. The flashes have enabled him to take this position with the shield. And the EMP, I think it was, disabled. The Banshee save does open the equation, finishing off what's left of Oda, and Killerman jumps into the fray as well. However, Player tries to salvage things. Cairo's got to get desperate, though. Swinging into sight, Player and Cairo together can try to salvage this round. They've got to worry about the flanker. Good job from Player. It's all up to Cairo now in the 1 versus 1. With Neptune on the other side, this DMR packs a serious punch. Does he see the angle? He does indeed. Great start from Cairo. A very tense round coming down to the 1v1, but Chiefs hold their nerve.
Yeah, clean timings there from Chiefs and being able to trade out those picks and maintain pace. 3K from Player and also held off that flank position through Con. It was a 3 versus 5. Big kill here. If Japer wins that, it's essentially round over. Would have been no world in which Cairo could walk through the cross. And then in the 1 versus 1, good composure to sneak forward, had a read, lands the shots required with the 4-1-7. And I think that site, like a couple in the game in the 9-map pool, really does either highlight or exacerbate weaknesses in timing pushes and trading out those key positions properly. And despite it being a 3v5, Chiefs were still able to maintain that pacing quite well. Hit their timings as required, landed the shots, good flank watch again in through Con.
Felt like it came out of nowhere to me. Like it felt like as soon as a couple
I think
of
it did to CS as well.
Yeah. Well, CS found the first 2 picks and then Chiefs were like, okay, bang, 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 just go.
Yeah. I mean, that's the nature of the site. You can sometimes catch defensive units off guard if you're able to sneak into positions that aren't being held. And again, goes back to that timing discussion. So good start for the Chiefs. Circular Spheres, though, at least maintaining a level of competitiveness. And heading into this stage, they want to be far more competitive than they were back end of stage 1 of this particular year, where, unfortunately, it never quite clicked.
Yeah, well, stage 1 this year, got to write that off. It was particularly bad, never been that bad for CS before. Now, Chiefs themselves actually have only dropped a single map since forming as Ludovica. And funnily enough, that was 2 Circular Spheres. It was a 5-7 on Consulate in the Oceanic Rivals. That was a little while ago now, just over a month. So there is a little bit of a rivalry between these teams, as CS are the only team Chiefs has ever fallen to. So this would be some very well-earned revenge if Chiefs is able to take CS down here. What?
Oh, from Garage. I almost thought it was Bot Blue for a second. I was like, wait, there's no one there.
Oh!
Traded, headshot.
Ballsy. That is really ballsy from Cairo, but you know what?
He has the mechanic.
He does have the mechanics, and also he's going up against the Boss G. Now, if you're a shield and you're ADSing, the one vulnerability you have is your head, right? Much harder to hit a one-tap onto the head with the Boss G. It's a body shot weapon. And so Cairo took the gamble that against a Boss G, he would actually be favored, and he actually was, believe it or not. Great shots.
So minute 40 then, and Chiefs still chipping away, map control, a couple of players up above.
Oh.
One of them was Oda on Ram's second floor. Drops out of the server. See you later. So 4v3 for the remainder of the round. Too deep for a rehost.
There you go. Nice little finish off there from Cairo. And Monty, so powerful. Not just when it comes to the ADS fights, but sprinting forward, fully protected. Go for those melee hits. 2 of them will finish off any player. And Cairo has single-handedly also taken control of the Exo stairs. This is looking solid for Chiefs despite that disconnect.
Neptune, though, has been lurking over towards Cargo stairs. Probably looking to chip away at drone economy, but perhaps now seeking a kill. Progresses forward as Quiz goes for the diffuser dropped by Oda. Valkyrie camera dealt with as the Monty posts themselves up in Exo again. Cairo has had a good round thus far. And we'll see if he can continue to utilize the power of Monty. 30 seconds on the clock.
A smoke goes out as well to prevent a flank. Now Tex is positioned outside the breach. And with the push coming in from Exo, he's the perfect player to pinch. However, he's taken out. Physics makes this a 3 versus 2, and one of those 2 is Cairo on Monty. With this shield here as well, the question is, how will Chiefs be able to plant? Now, planting behind the shield with the Monty does leave it all up to Quiz to cover. A flank attempt there from Japer, but I don't think he's going to be able to get around in time as the plant has gone down. Cairo's going to take the fight with the pistol. Shield still on his back, and he will go down. All up to Quiz. He's made it a 1v2, and these players are low HP. Oh. 1v1 for Quiz. This is so close for him, and he is favored, but Neptune swipes his head off. And a much-needed round for Circular Spheres on that retake.
Yeah, very awkward there in the post. Keeper barriers from Neptune, the deployable shield not cleared. Ultimately, though, he was able to play around that. Just had a narrow advantage, I feel, with the swing. Online gives him that little buff on the peak, and able to pull it off. Again, the asterisks on that round. Oda DCing midway through. Did also mess with the pacing for the Chiefs a bit, recovering that diffuser from up above. But probably unable to get absolute full usage of the Monty insight there. So they'll be reaping that opportunity a little bit.
Impressive that they got as close as they did, considering Oda disconnected.
Bang. Yeah, good clear from Cairo. Just that final portion of the round, things got a little bit tricky. Physics was low, so shot onto the elbow. Forces the 1v1, and then I think Neptune here just able to swing through slits on that deployable shield. Gave him that slight advantage, and won out the fight.
Of course, we're getting Oda back into the lobby so we can restart here. And a moment of quiet. Despite everyone on this CS roster, even the new pickups being of that same kind of variety of players we're used to on CS, you know, the memers, the shit posters. Saved in particular, he seems to fit right in on this roster with his personality.
He looks like he just woke up or he just got back from work.
It looks like he's about to fall asleep in this break.
Well, I hope not, because it's only the end of round 2. There's plenty more siege to come.
Very much so. We are going to spend a little time to get everyone back into the lobby. We'll be back in a moment. Bear with us.
It's total calamity, total mayhem inside of the server. Out of nowhere, they find their round back into their favor.
Holding up for the plunder wave! And I think he might just find it!
Welcome back, guys. Chiefs versus Circular Spheres is underway. We're back into it. It's 1-1, as you can see. Circular Spheres had a little bit of an advantage in that last round. Oda did disconnect, and Chiefs still got it very close.
Is it fair to say that Oda now has a reputation for getting kicked? I mean, he got kicked from Bliss, now GG.
It's too soon, man.
And then he got kicked from the game lobby only a couple rounds in.
Yeah, Rainbow Six just hates the poor man. Damn shame. Sucks to be Oda. Oh well, scoreboard's wiped clean. If you had been around for the first 2 rounds, you would have seen Cairo 5 and 1 so far. And a lot of that done on the Monty as well. No Monty this time. Glaz. Glaz Ying. What year is it?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about 2021 in the pre-show in terms of the OCE shuffle and the excitement around this stage. This upper lineup probably harping back to like 2019. Expecting Cairo to get pretty active, probably over towards Garage Rafters if I had to guess, in opening up that area, or maybe like outside IT Breach, holding the cross. Elsewhere, Oda once again attacking Conwall with the ace. He did that previously, and so not a massive switch up there. A lot of the action expected to take place on site. And if we cast our minds back to the previous attempt from the Chiefs, it didn't get off to the best of starts. There's actually a 3 versus 5, and again CS will get the opening pick, but in the late round, they were able to turn it up.
Did Quiz just swing top blue external door? That's very strange. Especially, yeah, it looks like he just stuck his head around the corner a little bit too much. That's really strange.
And no Ying means that opening up that portion of that now gets quite challenging.
Yeah, clearly there was an idea here with the Ying and the Glaz. Now only half of the ingredients remain.
It also gives more agency to Killer Man now. He can play wherever he wants. It's pretty irrelevant now. I mean, this is a great position, right, to counter against the flash dump.
Ooh. Drone to come through, and it will spot Saved's position, who can now fall back into sight. He's not being pushed too aggressively so far, and he still has a C4 now. He almost killed Oda with this exact C4 in round 1.
Petition to get the trajectory in the observer feed, please.
Please.
There is a ping.
Well, he's good for this, surely. Doesn't quite win his duel, however. Okay, Cairo has also just swung in through IT and killed Japer. The Glaz doing work. Doesn't want to overextend, though. He's actually going to go to the balcony door as Killerman is contesting through the smoke. Good work from the Warden to reposition to battle with the Glaz.
Yeah, probably should have mentioned that before. Killman not having to be mindful of the Ying, but does so of the Glaz. Allows him to push forward, not traded, 2 versus 4.
Yeah, and saved as aggressed again through Connector. And found his pick. Cairo now looking desperate. He doesn't know that there's still a player on the rafters. He's worried about the position. Almost gets swung. Neptune just mistimes it barely. But there's a lot of work to be done for poor player and Cairo. In particular, Cairo has had a phenomenal start to the game. Now it's all on him. He's so deep up through IT and does find his first. Bearing 9, not the best at range. He still has that DMR in his back pocket to bring out when he needs it. He sees the play. A lot of damage done. Cairo's looking sharp tonight, but Saved and Physics are so separate. It doesn't matter because Physics will land his regardless. Another very close round, but Circular Spheres take the lead.
Yeah, good job there from CS, able to drop that diffuser as well, which really increased the difficulty for Cairo to clutch up, regardless of how sharp he's been looking so far. So they double down off the back of the short pause we had during the rehost. Tertiary site now to be tested by Circular Spheres. Over to Kitchen Cafeteria we go, which hasn't been the most popular of tertiary choices. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'd hedge my bets that storage has been far more popular at the top level.
Yeah, especially in the tier 1 regions, especially in like the best regions in the world. Like, people don't go to Kitchen.
And again, the reason for that likely being that holding above Kitchen in conference is very difficult for the defense. You essentially have to play your life up above, and more times than not are only going to be able to stall out a small portion of the round. So I'm intrigued to see what the take is here from Circular Spheres. Perhaps they'll extend more horizontally. I'm not quite sure. Tubarao in play so they can stall out lobby. As you can see, Killerman up above is establishing quite an extensive hold all the way over towards Con, even some angles from Electrical. So I get the impression Circular Spheres have been cooking up on this site. But with the Chiefs lineup, there is potential to be rather direct here, so they need to be very careful of that threat as well.
There's a lot of options here for the Chiefs in this lineup, as you've said, because the Monty and the Ying both enable direct takes, but the Ram will enable a vertical take as well. The Thermite being the only dedicated hard breach, we still have tin can openers on the Ying, does mean there's plenty of options for opening up breaches as well. You could open up this wall here that looks directly into kitchen, which funnily enough has already been opened up by the defense. And that just gives Chiefs more options. If anything, Cairo can start to threaten a push in here through lobby.
Yeah, maybe 3 players up above for Circular Spheres. You can see it on the player cards now, live position. And so that may allow the Chiefs to go direct off the back of some pressure from a Deimos Mark, the Candelas from Odo, and then Cairo with the protection of the shield. Distraction elsewhere, Quiz with the Boogie Auto breaches up above, Tex contested, and a great swing from Killerman.
However, player is able to find his and start to dominate this top floor. He's looking to pressure in through electrical now as well. Through this breach outside, he might be able to find his pick, but waiting on the other side, there is still a defender so eager to take this fight. I believe that is Neptune. The Mars Rovers have gone to work on the executive flooring, and that does open up angles and really flush out the positions on site as Neptune is forced back again.
I mean, it's rather easy for the Chiefs to hold that control up above, though. Just post the player up top lobby stairs, and retaking for vert control is very difficult for the defense to achieve. In doing so, allows passage in towards site for the plant to go down. Chiefs, at this point in time, especially if they're able to clear Japer out, are in a good position.
Cairo's so tempted. He has that diffuser. Now he knows where Japer is. He doesn't know that Killerman is around the corner. And Saved is able to find his. Cairo needs to now get aggressive. He's trying to kill the Frost. He's being swung by another player as well, as Saved is looking to jump into the fight. But Chiefs, they seem to be mopping up all of the kills. Numbers are on their side. Saved needs to win some gnarly shots, but the plant is going down, and it looks like the round may be done and dusted. Neptune, back upstairs, is far too late to have an impact, and now he looks completely lost. 1 versus 3, a C4 almost finds a mark. Nice idea, but he doesn't have information. He needs to win a couple of fights. Nice shot onto Quiz. But even now, going up against a Monty and a Ying, even without utility, is a nigh impossible task. He must go over to that diffuser, spot the Monty. Cairo's going to get up in his face, no doubt about it. And this should be the round over. The tuber out is not going to have an effect. And nice attempt there from Neptune, but the round was over long before he got to the bomb site. A great lock-in from Chiefs.
Yeah, good work from Chiefs. Went through that checklist, and as we mentioned before the round began, exposing a lot of those weaknesses. They have top floor supremacy. It was difficult to hold. The opportunity for the retake too late from Neptune. J-Par, really the only player on site that could directly contest or deny the diffuser outside of maybe Saved on the long angle. And immediately, once he was cleared, Chiefs able to double down, get that plant down in the post. Window plant, especially with the Monty in the mix as well. 99.99 times out of 100 you win that. So good work from Chiefs, but it is just the tertiary. Circular Spheres now can go back to the 2 primaries, and a 4-2 lead still on the cards.
No, I don't think CS will be too rattled by that one. Like you said, if there's any bomb site you're going to lose, it's that one.
Lone storage, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's just objectively better.
Yeah, I think most teams would agree with you. There's just so many more options on how you can play that as a defensive side, right? You don't have to contest vertical. You can be above. You can be below. You can play on site. There's so many more options. Just, I don't know if Circular Spheres even have a strat or a setup for that side.
Your guess is as good as mine. Probably goes back to the commitment levels from CS heading into this stage.
Oh, yeah. What are you saying, Gus?
Well, we may or may not have had teams in the past, Carlton's Knights, who...
Might have to ask Vinny to comment on that one. Did you guys actually scrim?
Pretty sure it was his words, not mine.
No, I'm pretty sure that Circular Spheres do take this as seriously as Circular Spheres has ever taken it, and particularly when you get a player like Killerman on the team, like he's not one to screw around. Neptune could kind of say the same for him as well. He's been on some really solid teams in the past too. And it's already showing. Chiefs, like we said, nigh undefeated since forming as Ludovica about 2 months ago. Circular Sphere is the only team thus far to ever take a map off them.
So Vigil lurk up above. Dockerby Call will dissuade that roam for now, and back down blue stairs he goes. That now frees up top floor for the Chiefs to execute another top-down clear. last time, rudely interrupted by the Oda DC, so hopefully it doesn't happen this time around. Can get value from those boogie auto breaches on the ram eventually, and then pressure in towards site. They double down onto Killerman as well with the death mark, and so there's really no room for him to maneuver off site, and we'll just need to bunker down for now until those expire. And so Chiefs are, Chiefs are playing it pretty solid.
Yeah, and also Circular Spheres are playing it very passively. I believe that's 5 players pretty much on site. We've got 2 players contesting staircases, but they're not looking to play their lives, I don't believe. Just looking to play retreat. Never mind, Save just, as I said that, gone aggressively from his staircase and moved his way into kitchen. But he's about to be hunted, as we can see from the Dokkaebi calls.
Wonder if there's a death mark opportunity here for player. Not exactly sure if he has a mark on the Frost yet, but probably will soon. Save can't rotate, and so has to play for his life. There is only 60 seconds on the clock, though.
He is spotted as well by Cairo. Cairo needs to make sure not to over-aggress here. Now they have information. Here comes the death mark. Saved is a dead man walking. However, he might be able to steal a kill or 2. It's just the one. Still, taking down Oda is huge.
40 seconds then, and Chiefs have no pressure onto the objective. Still aggressive. Cargo stairs, chipping away at drone economy. Now 4 remain for the attack. Circular Spheres, their patience rewarded. The aggression off site as well from Saved. Tricky round now for the Chiefs.
Might be able to be opened here by player, though, as he's got information. The death mark on a player on the stairs. However, they retreat, and Circular Spheres have played this to perfection. Just have a look at the timer. 10 seconds to play, and Chiefs are nowhere near an execute. Tex, though, will find his pick. Find a double here on the striker. 2 versus 2. It'll come down to a bloodbath as Tex looks to force that diffuser down on the ground. He is the last one remaining, and he will fall. No time to make an execute work, and yet still damn close for Chiefs.
Yeah, I felt a little bit scary there for CS, but ultimately it was a Hail Mary play from Chiefs. They hadn't established that much in the way of site pressure. A lot of their focus was over towards Saved in that, you know, as we were entering the last phase of the round, we then saw players aggressive over towards cargo stairs. They had to be dealt with. And despite, again, Hail Mary play, Tex drops, finds a couple, they didn't have enough of a read onto the rest of the hold to meaningfully put themselves in a position to, you know, get the plan or find another win con. So good work from CS.
Well, there's one last chance for Chiefs now to tie the score at the end of the half. I still don't think 2-4 would be terrible, but 3-3 is certainly achievable, especially considering this bomb site. We have seen Chiefs win before.
Seen a surprising amount of Solace play this evening. Saw it in the last match. We'll see it again here. Will we see it next play day? Probably not.
Just trying to milk the last of it before the nerf comes through.
Oh, I mean, maybe. The actual duration of the gadget is significantly longer, as far as I'm aware, so it's true. Maybe. Very niche circumstances.
Yeah.
Either way, though, we'll see it here from Killman and his ability to disrupt information, potentially deny plants from below as well. Maybe something that Chiefs will be eager to contest.
Ooh. Almost some solid timing there for an early pick. Now, every single round so far, Circular Spheres have found the opening kill. It has been traded twice by Chiefs, but bit of a red flag that the team, which on paper should be vastly favored, has struggled in these early rounds.
I feel like my ears just exploded like that con wall there. That was quite loud, but it's been the checklist for Chiefs, and Odo tasked once again with the arranged hard breach. Thatcher Thermite combo for the main wall, though. And with little in the way of denial outside of potential mute jammer from CS, that's rather easy to get opened up. And that's the easy part done for the attack. Now it's about finding information on where these strongholds are, where these defenders are posted, and what the plan is going to be to dislodge said positions.
And it's no more Ying, no more Glaz, no more Montaigne. Much more gunfight-oriented lineup here. Chiefs will need to find these players with the death marks and with the bees from the Grim, and then execute upon them without that execute utility.
Yeah, they have the Grim, though. Could be helpful in flushing out some of those cross positions. It looks like Quiz is rather eager, though, to get control in towards electrical. Jape is holding that down with a deployable shield we have seen previously. Nitro could come over through the window. I believe he was thinking about it. Pre-ripped. This could be big. If he throws it now,
He's
maybe
very patiently biding his time. He's not going to send it. He heard the Volt in. The C4 actually gets stuck despite the previs. Japer misses his C4. That could be deadly. He's now been forced out of electrical as well. Tex is just on the other side of his deployable shield, and Oda has found his. Time is ticking away, but Chiefs are making steady progress. An overpeak here could cost Japer's life, and it goes from bad to worse for Circular Spheres. 2 versus 4 now as the Chiefs begin to circle.
35 seconds then. Physics trying to make a final stand alongside Neptune, and they're working well. Oda also falling to the ground. 25 then on the board for the attack to work with, and a Nitro Cell does land. 3 for Physics, 4 for Physics, and Circular Spheres somehow walk away with the round.
There is no universe where CS should be winning that round, but Physics puts the team on his back. What a C4, what a close. And that's the half. There's no doubt about who won it.
They stole that round just as much as I stole the play-by-play, so I apologize, James, hey, but that came out of nowhere. I mean,
man. Look at this.
Definitely better than Japer's Nitro, and unfortunately for Japer, he did get a bit exposed in that round, misses the Nitro, loses con control, repeaks through the Grim into the deployable shield, and that helped dislodge a lot of that defensive structure, but they fought back. Respect to them.
And got to say as well, looking at the old CS lineup, most of the players on that team have actually departed. Saved, Killerman, and Neptune have come on through. We've lost a lot of the big hitters. You're doing yourself, of course.
That is quality banter. I'll give him that.
All right. Well, we'll get to see plenty more banter later when GG hit the server and we get to see Tuhan. A lot of pressure on that man's shoulders for sure, but also the same can be said for Oda. He's got to see if he can back up all of the controversy. People saying that dropping Oda from Bliss was the wrong move. Now he's got to prove with Chiefs that he's made the right decision. He's picked the right bunch of lads to join. And right now, it could be that Circular Spheres are Chiefs' kryptonite.
Yeah, potentially. Been a close match, a couple of hotly contested rounds. Probably at least 2, especially on that top floor, that were big swing rounds where one team had the advantage heading into the latter portion and then the other brings it back. Chiefs are the benefactors of that on one occasion, but unfortunately losing out their final round of the half, and it just sets us up for another intriguing match here for the first play day of OCE. We've already had 1 banger. Not every day of the week we get 2, so fingers crossed this one continues to deliver. Cairo initially using the Zodo canister on the Tubarao to stall out the main breach. There's also the Bandit and Kaid in play here from Chiefs, so quite the intriguing composition. Really eager to deny these walls as best they can. IT denied. In the meantime, player also gets a kill.
Really good start for Chiefs, and if they can guarantee all of these reinforced walls stay so, then they should be
win
really
the round.
solid. Yeah.
Again, it's a 99% play. You keep every wall closed, it takes one hell of a brute force from the attack.
Well, they have tripled down on it. However, I don't expect they'll be able to protect this external con wall forever. And Quiz is not able to get his smoke back, unfortunately. And so now he brings his other smokes over to try and contest.
Yeah, he burnt the first, I think.
I would love to know where that second smoke went. I think it disappeared into the ether. And that has allowed iDark Neptune to march on forward. The last smoke is burnt. Wow. So much util from Chiefs has been expended to try and keep this Monty at bay, and not a lick of damage has been dealt.
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine as to where that
literally disappeared.
And the Monty now. For me, this is the biggest win condition now for Circular Spheres, playing around the Monty, getting Neptune activated. Good keeper barriers, though, to keep him at bay, at least for now. Minute on the clock, and again, with IT walls still standing, it makes it a challenge. Thatcher, though, still in play, but no exothermic.
This Monty surely going to scare the bejeebers out of Quiz. Ooh, there's an engagement going to go downstairs. Tex has the information. A flash goes in. Physics is taking a huge risk, and he loses his life. Quiz, though, has lost his fight here to control the electrical door. As that Monty has enabled the push-in from Saved, who's now backed out again. Just dealing with his position. Kara has held onto his position in IT, and it looks like Chiefs have locked this one down. All up to Neptune now, and he has been harassed. He has been taken out. A good lockout from Chiefs. Everything went according to plan.
I mean, you just don't win the round. Like, Con Wall's still standing, IT Wall's still standing. It gives the defense so many key positions to play. You combo that with the Azami, which adds even more playable positions. It's so difficult. As mentioned, biggest condition there was maybe the Monty can like make a play, go deep, apply a bit of pressure. But Neptune was left stranded in that position and no fault of his own. There was good counter utility. Led to that in the end. So
Yeah.
good work from Chiefs.
Thank you, Replays, for giving us that little lick of truth.
Should we just re-explain the lore behind that for perhaps
for
the
it.
international viewers? So
Go
for
for
those unaware, 2E equals Tuhan, another player in the Oceanic region. Unfortunately for Oda, he went to Greece, he came back, he didn't have his job anymore, he was unemployed. Ex-Bliss, now GG Gaming. Gladiators said, we don't need your services anymore, see you later. They brought in Tuhan, and that's a whole controversy in itself that we'll see play out in that head-to-head. But yeah, the joke there, perhaps alluding to the fact that maybe Oda is past his prime.
Yeah. Well, we of course have to get everyone back into the server. We'll be back in a moment to finish off Chiefs versus CS.
Tap, yeah, I want that. No lines, I don't cut back. Sweet, salty, and all that. Let loose, come get that. Can you play that back? Can you run that back? I'm trying to play that back. I want that. Hey, tap, let's go. Tap, let's go. Tap, let's go. Right here, can you feel that? Let's go. Tap, let's go. Tap, let's go. Tap, let's go. Right here, can you feel that? Ooh, you feel that? Ooh, the real back. Ooh, I'm still that. Ooh, you catch that? Ooh, I guess that. The best back. Yeah. 30,000 up, I'm a pilot. Might jump out if I'm wildin'. Catch my flow, I'm so stylish. Tap, real smooth. Can you play that back? Can you run that back? I'm trying to play that back. I want that. Hey, Tap, let's go. Tap, let's go. Tap, let's go. Right here, can you feel? Let's go.
Back into it then. Chiefs and Circular Spheres. On the attack now, CS look to try and make the most of the first half that looked really solid for them. 4-2 split, but Chiefs looked really good in that opening defense.
Well, the stats didn't reset after that rehost, which is nice, but we did have one prior. Oda actually up to 9 kills in this match so far. It's been a standout performance from the young lad. I think there was plenty of doubts as to how he may go on this team, but off to a good start.
Who?
Cairo.
Oh, I thought you said Oda. I was like...
I'm pretty sure I said Cairo. I hope I said Cairo.
No, all good. Yeah. Cairo has been phenomenal this whole game.
Oda 5-4.
Yeah, I know. That was why I was like... I thought you were making storylines. So don't worry, guys. Oda's doing great in his new team. And I'm like, yeah, he's doing okay. He's not the standout.
Well, he's on Vigil this round. That's a big role.
And no Boss G. That's a rare sight.
I respect it.
Nah, mate.
Boss G abusers a different breed.
It worked out for Jacana last game. Well, until he lost.
Well, the Chiefs, we hoping they win this game. Would certainly put them on the back foot if they don't.
I mean, we've already had one upset today. If CS beat Chiefs, I cannot understate how insane that would be. Cairo's going to start it off nicely, though. He continues his insane form. He's hit double digits now.
Nitro from below, looking to catch somebody from Circular Spheres on the vert off guard, but it doesn't quite land. And now the Chiefs will contemplate as to how aggressive they want to play the remainder of this round. They now have the advantage. They will more than likely post themselves up on the staircases, chip away at the drones. There's only 3 left, and Killerman, he'll though throw a spanner into the works. The death mark on the Deimos, able to produce a pick. An operator that really exacerbates the strengths of verticality.
I don't think player knew that the Deimos was above him because he hid behind a piece of cover instead of running for his dear life. In the end, though, Killerman is doing what he does best, which is killing men. He lives up to the name, that guy.
Yeah.
Real standout fragger last stage and the stage prior as well. Every team he joins, he seems to really find his footing on. But he has struggled to actually come out on top of a league and really live up to the expectation of the teams he has joined. Bit of vertical game now happening. Pushing some of these players back. Nice work from Japer, though. This defense is being whittled away at. Circular Spheres are looking very good and make good use of time as well.
Yeah, advantage flipped. Oh! Well, the Cluster Curse comes through as Killerman hits those Capcan mines. However, he will at least be able to bring himself, or be brought back up, rather.
Is there a double flank going on? There's an execute in sight, but meanwhile, temptation for this flank to continue. However, it looks like Quiz is in a world of pain as the Deimos is hunting for him. He tosses a smoke out. He wants to hold onto this position. He doesn't want to back down just yet. A spray doesn't find anything. And Cairo's such low HP. Oh! Almost a chance there as he denies the plant, but not the round. Killerman is low, but so is Cairo. There are so many players low HP on Circular Spheres, but Neptune holds the line. Finds another round for Circular Spheres, and a solid attack at that.
Yeah, it really was. Chiefs probably felt that they were in a comfortable position after winning that opening pick, tried their best to fall back. The Deimos catches one. Good vert from Japer for another. Things just going from bad to worse there for Chiefs in that round. Capcan almost the saving grace, so too that swing. But with so many players low, it was a little bit awkward in the final stages, but ultimately, Cairo unable to clutch up.
Tactical timeout called by the Chiefs. Sorely needed. I mean, you lose one more round and you're losing points on the scoreboard, on the standings. Chiefs really should not be dropping points to teams like Circular Spheres. Yes, CS have beaten them before, but that was before Oda. That was before these guys had the Chiefs banner. I really think that if we're expecting these guys to challenge GG, that they need to be dominating in matches like this.
Biggest question for me around the Chiefs roster, and we won't get an answer for it tonight. How good is their mental? That is the biggest question. I think skill-wise and certainly experience, they trump almost every team outside of probably GG.
20 years of Pro League experience.
Yeah. Doesn't get much better than that. But can they hold themselves up in high pressure scenarios. Now again, it's play day 1, so I don't want to overstep the mark too much, but it's more so just bringing up that proposition that maybe as the season whittles on, if things continue to be difficult, they might be worn down. 20 years playing pro is a long time.
It is combined 20 years, you know, once you add all of them together. Tex is actually the longest running player on this roster. He's been playing for very.
I mean, look how many grey hairs he has. I mean, it takes its
I don't
toll.
think he has any left. Chiefs have a lot of expectation on them, especially with that org pickup. I mean, they made a name for themselves as Ludovica. They already had a name simply by forming with all of the names on this roster. But in order to actually take a shot at the king, they've got to start winning against some of the Jacks. And that's what Circular Spheres are in this matchup. And they're only a single round away from stealing points.
Are you allowed to make poker references on broadcast? Is that?
There are a lot of card games that have kings and jacks.
Oh, you're more of a solitaire fan.
Oh, I love my solitaire.
Yeah. Let's see how Chiefs bounce back, though. Or attempt to. Off the back of the attack. Questions posed as to what the leadership structure looked for the team. I wonder who was most vocal during that call. And what the plan is going forward for the remainder of this match. Deimos on Killer Man's hands. While it will continue to be a threat, but at least in this round, Oda able to shut it down.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Defense is really looking to maximize their map control here, as you realistically need to do on a bomb site like this. But the attack continues to try and make their way forward. There's good info being gifted by Cairo. As the logic bomb comes out, a C4 misses its mark, and the Buck will survive.
Halfway point then, as we take stock, the defense leading. Saved looking to try and gain information here on the Jackal for the horizontal clear from Kitchen. Tex though contesting, but in a position to potentially fall off and rotate, but now equally trapped on the stairs. Elsewhere, Japer again on the Buck, finding value. I presume again, vertical line of sight, much like the last round. And this is where things start to look maybe a little bit more dicey for Chiefs. Not in the best of positions to contest the vert. Tex under pressure from the Jackal, so he's forced to remain over towards Vending Stairs.
There's another pick for Neptune. Quiz going down. That's the Maestro, and the ability to use those Evil Eyes denied. But here's a big swing from Oda. He's put his big boy pants on now, and Cairo's hold on to his position, dominating the vertical game. Poor timing there for Physics, as he's about to get swung by Tex. But these Chiefs players need to be ultra careful, as they're both low HP. Tex the only one with full HP, but it's just Neptune now. In a 1v3, a single bullet will be the end of Cairo, but he is being hunted. There's a big kill onto Tex. As Cairo's gone downstairs, C4 in pocket, he can deny vertically. Neptune has the diffuser, but the Chiefs know they don't need to make the first move. Oda opens it, Oda closes it. And the Chiefs are back into it.
Yeah, big from Oda. Felt like a rather important round, looking to get value from the tack and deny match point from CS. Steps up on the entry, nice pick. And it was actually horizontally that pick from Japer, not down below through vert. Meanwhile, though, Oda continued to run rampant around the map, and then with Cairo feeding him information off that pulse scanner, a rather easy cleanup there in the end. Tertiary ticked off. You do the math, 2 primaries back-to-back, match point Chiefs.
Yeah, but that basement primary I'm not too confident in, Guz. We saw Chiefs go to it. We saw Circular Spheres find the opening pick. We saw them have a really strong collapse. I really don't think that Chiefs can bank on this top floor, on that bottom floor, safely. So this is still round by round. There is a chance, yeah, that they can lock in all 3 points out of this game, but they have to go flawless from here.
Yeah, bot floor certainly sketchy, but top floor was dominant. Really leaning into that Mav ban. Again, they'll bring the triple denial with the Tubarao Kaid Bandit combination. Serve them very well. Able to prevent the interior con wall and the exterior IT wall from being opened up. And if you've ever played this map, you know that without either of those walls open, exposing side and getting in is such a challenge, even with the Monty. Neptune, he was stranded over towards Electrical, and there wasn't much he was able to achieve. So that's going to be, for me, again, a pass mark for Circular Spheres if they're able to apply more pressure on these breaches, get them opened up. it puts them in a much more favorable position later on into the round.
There is only the one hard breacher here as well. The Circular Spheres, just that Thermite, no secondary hard breach available. Plenty of EMPs on the roster, but that's not going to be enough to counter the slew of utility, especially with Cairo on that Tubarão. Last time Quiz found an early opening pick. Oh, sorry, it was Cairo found the early opening pick onto Saved. Former teammates, by the way.
I'm kind of surprised they haven't brought double hard breach, right? You can try and sink it, get 2 walls open, or at least one of the 2 open at any point in time. It also drains more utility in Zodo canisters as well, if required. So they've made a pretty decisive decision here. They have brought the Jackal maybe, so there is that lurk potential. The Monty as well over towards Garage. I like that change, but again, if the wall stays standing, Chiefs can play in the back line, and it's really tough to clear.
Oh, Cairo's trapped, and somehow the shots are missed by Killerman. You really need to be making the most of those scenarios. That should have been a free kill. The Azami came out too late, and Cairo punishes him for his mistake.
And he'll be able to deny this wall now. You'll see the freeze land. There we go. And so this round is, in some respects, going to play differently with the attacking pattern, but with the walls again closed, the Chiefs can just fall back and play safe.
Man, that C4 was millimeters from going through that drone hole. I don't know if it's possible to even land that out through the drone hole, but had it been, that would have been a massive double kill. The round would have been done. And now Circular Spheres need to make the most of this, Monty. The IT breach is finally open.
Yeah, good pressure point now. Azami, though, that secondary layer of utility for Circular Spheres to deal with, and the lack of explosives could prove to be a threat.
How do they execute this? Chiefs have so many good positions. They have so much map control still. C4 unfounded. The Monty is trying to tease something out. Circular Spheres need a pick. And they will not be given them. Apparently, Chiefs will simply swing everybody. Circular Spheres are not given the time of day. 30 seconds still on the clock, and Chiefs hyper aggro. They take the fight to their faces. And the scoreboard is once again tied.
Yeah, Chiefs look really well drilled on that side. The Mav Band perfect for the playstyle that they want to employ. And even with that time around IT breach being opened up, it was a little bit sloppy in through Garage with Killerman dying first. The Tubarão was still able to extract some value and waste time. Lack of explosives late into the piece as well meant that the Azami was bolstered. And there just weren't that many opportunities presented for Circular Spheres to establish crossfires, to flush out those positions. Chiefs played the back line, kept it safe, kept it sturdy, held down the lines, forced swings, and won out those engagements. So, expected. But here we go. It's break point, round 11. Winner onto match point on a site where Circular Spheres looked quite good last time. And able to wrangle the round back. Chiefs struggling to fortify their position on site.
Hard to know where to put your money on for this basement bomb site because, like you said, CS looked really good last time and Chiefs looked pretty lost. So what the Chiefs do now? Last time around they had Capcan, they had Vigil, like it was pretty much the exact same lineup you're looking at right here. The only thing that's new is that mute instead of the Capcan from Cairo. Of course, Capcan, you're probably not going to make work twice. They got an injure last time. Is the idea for the mute to support the roam game or to support the anchors? That's my question.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Oh, well, maybe that was going to be a line of sight opened up there. Player on the roam. I think LMG. Again, harping back to days of old. But I'm really intrigued to see if Killerman gets value here on Deimos.
Ooh.
Countering into the Vigil. Oda's had some good moments this evening. Can certainly be a threat. But won't overstay his welcome, at least on top floor for now.
Using his gadget while on the floor below means that these drones won't be certain that the Vigil is not upstairs. Eventually the gadget elapses, and control has been taken now of the top floor by Circular Spheres. A C4 would be massive from Cairo, and he has been on point today.
Yeah, how do they get that Q though for the Nitro? Will need to be largely game sense with no Valkyrie, for instance, on the board to feed live information. Minute 40 on the clock as the defense begins to peel. I think both teams would be rather content with how things have played out, at least so far. Cafeteria occupied though. Those are the last 2 remaining roamers, Cairo Tex. I get the impression that Circular Spheres have an inkling that there's players over in these positions. Killerman with the death mark, but it's on the play. He's on site. Should be well protected. Tex wasn't, though, and he falls.
Do they know that there's a second roamer, though? I think that Saved is unaware, and that means Cairo could be the death of him, but this logic bomb will likely save his life. Cairo's in an awkward position. Somehow he misses the shots. Japer seemingly completely unaware, but CS should know full well now. Cairo is in a real spot of bother. No one's looking at his position, though.
Hello?
They are clueless. They didn't hear the shots earlier. He's got it down, and he's held onto his life for a bit longer. Meanwhile, Neptune's gone down. Killerman eventually revived, thanks to the adrenal surge from the Thinker, but coming in for the flank. Good for another one, but not a second. All up to Oda on site. Circular Spheres have flipped the switch on the Chiefs. And now it comes down to the newest player on the team, the man of the hour himself, in a 1 versus 3. But time may well be on his side. He's got a long ankle and he finds the first. 2 more. It's all he needs. The big man himself. Killerman against Oda to find match points as the Deimos Deathmark finds him. But he gets the last laugh. Oda is kicked by no one.
Talk about making a statement. And the reaction from Oda, stone cold. A massive 1 versus 3. And I was about to interject and say, I mean, he's probably good for like 1, right? And then he'll get traded and we'll get excited over nothing. But he finds all 3 and match point. Massive. How did this happen?
Man, I don't know what was going on. Cairo got saved massively. I mean, there were 2 opportunities for the attack to know where he was. The doe could be cool, and the second, but this was where the magic happened.
He's leaning IRL. He's locked in. He's locked in.
Let's see the final one. Let's see the reaction.
Into the death mark as well. That's ballsy.
He's so keen for it. I mean, you just look at him. Never in doubt. Oda is locked the fuck in.
Well, you might not be the only person, or Oda might not be the only person in OCE to lose his job this stage. But he got his
kicked
back.
Mandy, so justice for Mandy.
I don't think she said the F word, though.
No. I'd pay to see that.
Well then, puts us in a very interesting position where outside of basement, Chiefs have looked pretty sound. Tertiary side, though, up next, I would assume.
Yeah, well, it's been back-to-back storage win, command center win, and then tank assembly win. So that's 3 bomb sites they've won in a row. Storage is now back open again. But that was a pretty convincing win for Chiefs. They can definitely lock it in here and walk away with the full 3 points out of today, which is pretty impressive considering that there was a 5-3 deficit at one point.
I am going to assume that they are not going to kitchen. I think that's a pretty fair assumption to make. The storage should be the expected objective in play for what the Chiefs will be hoping is their final round of the match. And again, in doing so, to make it crystal clear, that will be the full 3 points.
If we go podcast mode, can I bring up something?
Why are you smirking? I'm getting nervous.
So, there's one player who is announced to join the Chiefs that's not currently in the server. Do we want to talk about Jigsaw at all?
Oh, yeah, we could talk about Jigsaw.
The Jigsaw himself. Never thought I would see the day Jigsaw.Chiefs. Because back in the day, Jigsaw was the enemy of the Chiefs. Back when he was on LFO, he dropped a 20 bomb against them in his first season in Pro League. Went on to join Bliss, went on to join IG, went on to join Bliss again, and then overseas to Fnatic.
But do we see Jigsaw.Chiefs? And if we do, who gets dropped?
That's the question, right? That's the question. That's $1 million question.
I'm pretty sure the prize pool isn't $1 million. I think it's
Oh, well, you
a
know,
bit less than that.
if they could qualify for...
Well, you made the major. I think the prize pool is about $1 million.
It's a bit... Oh, actually, once you... Yeah, Australian. Yeah, probably. Very true. Hey, if they make EWC or SI, it's a whole lot more than that.
Oh, that is another discussion point as well. 6 invitational points. Gaming Gladiators poised to make 6th Invitational, provided they qualify for Montreal. I would presume it would all but lock it in.
Yeah.
But if they don't, that could be interesting.
I'm actually going to be honest and say I don't exactly know if Chiefs get any SI points because obviously like they didn't pick up an existing roster.
I would presume not.
So I don't think it comes with any of the players. Like obviously you have players like Cairo and Player both came from the old Odium. They would have some SI points, but I don't think it went with them. I think it went with
the points
the
get
now
divided by 5.
Imagine that. Like imagine there are some esports where points like that actually get attributed per player.
Does that mean that XBliss, now GG, should lose points because Oda left?
Because Oda left. Oda gets to take 1/5 of the SI points with him. Oh,
that would actually be quite intriguing.
Yeah, well, like I said, there were some esports that do that, and it meant that there would be orgs that would just buy players that have enough points to qualify for an event.
That is pay to win.
It was literally pay to win, but it was an American esport, so I'm not surprised.
So round 12 then, let's lock in. I'm sure that's what these guys were thinking to themselves over the course of that tech pause, so apologies for the delay, but back into the action we go, and it is indeed a storage defense, and that means we'll see Circular Spheres contest up above. No issues in getting control over towards Con. Wall now to be opened up. Killer Man in a position to lurk. I like this.
You might find one. Quiz is on the rafters, though, not in the room he's looking at. So they might have the opportunity.
There is Oda, though, up close in command.
And he's being pinched too. Oda needs to find something.
Too slow.
Tex has come up from behind and taken down Killer Man. This nice little re-roam. Now we've got 4 players for Chiefs on that top floor.
Yeah, it could be a bloodbath up above if Circular Spheres continue to contest, and it looks like they're rather eager to. But time now starting to become a factor. 70 seconds now on the board, and they haven't really progressed all too far forward. Saved will take a leap of faith. Server control obtained, and he hits a nice shot onto Quiz, and another one there onto Oda.
Oh! Saved almost good for 3, but it is just player left. 1v2. For Circular Spheres, it's overtime or bust. But for Player, it's a chance to prove that he should not be the one dropped come Jigsaw. No. These 2 players are separate. But Player doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know where that plant's gone down. And in the post, it's nigh impossible. He could potentially take down a castle barricade and use that. But that is a very ambitious move. He's likely to find the pick onto Neptune here. He does. 1v1. But he's going to do it. He's going to do it. Repel. This is going to be a huge risk. He needs to make it work with the castle barricade. He has no options. He has to fake it. He sees the upside down repel. And Physics forces Circular Spheres into overtime.
Oh, that's a bazillion IQ play if it works out, but incredibly high risk, and Physics clued in, able to deny. They weren't going to fall to another clutch attempt in this match. Saved massive LMG Finker back into the fray. Oda shut down as well in the meantime, and unfortunate for Player there.
Oh, imagine, man.
I thought that maybe you should have stayed above, played Vert super shorty, and just taken the gamble on a default plant, which it ultimately was. I think there was limited info, and the Velt cams that I did see get flicked through was only Lounge. I don't know if there was actually one in sight, so... kind of tried to take his chances. The castle then made things a difficult prospect. If that castle barricade ironically wasn't there, he would have gotten the kill and not traded because the second plate was so far away, but it is what it is. And OT now beckons.
And it means that points on the board for CS. Took them a while to get points on the board in Stage 1. As we said, they ended up 6th. It's the most disappointing showing we've seen from them since they entered the upper echelons of Oceania. Chiefs, on the other hand, already dropping points is a big red flag. But perhaps this stage is even less cut and dried than we thought it would be, guys. We already knew that this stage was going to be a big shake-up with what's happened with GG, what's happened with Chiefs, even Antic, the former man LFO. But I don't think we'd expected Antic to lose their opening game to, frankly, some nobodies.
Well,
team that we hadn't seen in the OCE level before that had just made this huge come up in the off-season. This
what do you mean?
X5 Sharp Outlaws last roster.
One X-Rivals Grand Final attendees. I think they won maybe one round.
They didn't even attend. they got 14-0.
They logged in.
They logged in and then they logged out again.
No, they played well tonight, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the point I'm making. Like, we've seen teams shoot out of nowhere and take down runners-up in previous stages. And now we're seeing that Chiefs might not even be everything they're cracked up to be. If GG get pushed tonight, if they lose to Supernova, man, all bets are off.
Makes our job easy. That's all I'll say. we don't have to artificially hype it up too much, which is good. That's what we want to see. So round 13, and Chiefs are going to the tried and true top floor again. Tubarão, Kaid, Bandit, the triple threat. With no Mav in play, it's difficult to open up these main breaches. IT, the first to be stalled out last time. Circular Sphere is able to get it open with, I think, about a minute 10 on the clock. Ultimately, though, it still wasn't enough with that secondary layer of his army keeper barriers also in play. This time, though, the Deimos threat from below to ward off the Tubarão, which should, in theory, make this wall a little bit easier to open up, at least a little bit faster than last time.
Oh, but the Electrical comes back on, and it's destroyed the util.
They have one EMP.
And there's still 2 Exothermics and 2 more Selmas. So this should be denied.
All through the wall, the Tubarão.
Wow, the Tubarão just...
He knows the tech. He knows the tech.
He just got it. Just barely. That's genius from Cairo. What a game he's had. However, Physics is able to move on over that Exothermic and get the detonation off. Meanwhile, Saved is hungry. He's looking to peek. He's seen the A-bomb site. He's made nice eye contact with it, and he's looking for a kill on the back of it. Going for a wider swing. He's just waiting to play whack-a-mole with somebody's head.
Killerman gets the first, though. That threat down below with the Deimos. Can Circular Spheres, though, this time around deal with these keeper barriers? The LMG, a perfect counter.
And here comes the Adrenal Surge. Here comes the entry from Save. Big kill from him. Numbers advantage for CS on the attack, and they are relentless, but Tex holds on for a brief moment, looks for another one. He needs to win this fight, and he does! It's all up to him and Quiz. Physics in the 1v1 now. He even did damage onto Quiz. 20 seconds to play, and he's got the diffuser as well. Quiz, this is where you earn your stripes. A flashbang goes out, the monitor protects Physics for a brief moment. There's no C4, he's got to play it with the SMG, he does! Fire up, Quiz! Chiefs, they're on match points!
Yeah, Quiz, a little bit fortunate there that the push wasn't deep and instead opting for the plant. Good counterplay this time around onto the Azami from Circular Spheres. Did a better job in disrupting. Big hold from Tex though, massive. He loses that, and the back pressure probably would have been enough to overwhelm the objective. Physics opted not to go deep, and Quiz timing that push forward perfectly. I will also say, casting our minds back to the IT breach, Cairo almost denied the Exothermic from opening up the wall completely. It only exploded half a second before the Kaid came back online because the Exothermic had to be moved. But still, it provided enough value, stalled out enough time, and Circular Spheres got better and better as the attempts went on in countering that setup and hard countering it at that. But it still just wasn't good enough.
Speaking of that Exothermic, you know who's been my quiet achiever today has been Physics. He's never been one of the highlight players on Circular Spheres. He's always been good, like everyone on this roster has always had pop-off potential. But if you said who's the best player on Circular Spheres, I don't think I would have ever said Physics. Not only is he top fragging in the server right now with an EPS of 121, he's got 10 kills, he's also been doing his job with the util so well. Like, he brought that back to a clutchable situation. He's the one that saved that breach. He's looking really hot today, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from this new look CS roster.
Round 14, a change of sides and a change in personnel for both halves. As evident from Circular Sphere's lineup, far less of a commitment to hard breach denial. The mute likely going to be placed around to deny drones and Deimos death marks from below and players lurking there currently. Does mean though that exterior walls are far easier for the attack to open. Chiefs taking full advantage of that, and IT opened up early into the piece.
What is that, J-Mo?
I don't know what read he had on that spray, but I'll back him in.
Someone check in PC. Kara's back on the Monty. He started this game impressing us with his Monty skills. We all know how powerful shields are in the current meta. Circular Spheres need to do everything they can to keep him at bay.
Cairo with diffuser as well, so critical here for Cairo to play his life. Crossmat spotted, I would hope.
Yeah, he's safe. Needs to help pinch out this Warden. Very difficult player to eliminate, especially with that keeper barrier to protect him. He's managed to knife away that Frostmat. Meanwhile, the vertical game goes out, and Quiz has taken a lot of damage for his troubles from below. That contest, I believe it's Japer doing a lot of that damage as Cairo makes his way further forward.
Yeah, double vert. So not a whole lot of focus over towards electrical currently. Maybe indicating that Chiefs are wanting to aggress command, maybe look to get control top blue. Tex has proceeded through breach, and they're beginning to circle site Killerman, the first to fall.
This is so good. The vertical pressure from underneath, so few teams heavily use it. And now Tex has gotten in there. Cairo's tempted to plant, almost loses his life on the retreat. A dangerous position now for Chiefs. It is fumbleable. Oh, circular spheres are falling apart though. They're being picked to pieces. Neptune and Saved have to hold on. It's all up to Save, but he might not be able to save the rounds. A 1v2. Both players low, but the Monty still survives. Plant not confirmed. This is winnable, but Cairo goes for him. The GG is called, and the Chiefs have run the number. They're back in the league, and they're here to make a statement.
Yeah, some big moments from the boys in blue this evening, and enough to get an overtime win across the line. Circular Spheres, a respectable return to normality, I suppose, for them after a disappointing stage 1, and maybe a bit more promising for them here in the second stage to vie for a top 4 spot.
Respectable for CS, but not enough to get a win, which they were able to do against Chiefs last time. So big revenge story for Chiefs, but of course we'll break it down on the desk.
We'll do our best. Can't promise you we will, but if I was to kind of get in touch with, like, you know, the younger generation of today, would mid be the right word?
It's probably a little harsh,
Fair.
I think, on both teams, because I think CS put up a good fight. I think their understanding of Nighthaven was actually surprisingly good.
Yep.
They, especially for a team that's brought in 3 new players. They were playing well together, so obviously credit to them for making it so close and getting it to OT. I think this is a pass.